Chris Kajani. I'm the winemaker and general manager here at Bouchaine Vineyards. Bouchaine Vineyards is a beautiful spot on the southern tip of Napa Valley in the Carneros region. We are on about 104 acres, 82 of that planted, and it's just a gorgeous area. You stand on our terraces and look right across the bay to the financial district in San Francisco. It has its pros and cons though, because we are on a flyway for birds and there is a bird preserve right behind us. So bird damage is something that we deal with on a yearly basis. In 2015, we were seeing horrible bird damage, giant flocks of starlings and red-winged blackbirds everywhere. It was awful. And we had gone to get a biscuit for breakfast and ran into another viticulturist. She works close by and she's a lovely lady, great person in the industry. And as we were talking to her, she said she was meeting her falconer. So we all go out in the parking lot as the falconer arrives, and Rebecca opens up the back of her truck, and there's a beautiful peregrine falcon and her peregrine hawk hybrid in the back with their little leather hoods on, just sitting there, just chilling out. And it was so fascinating that we sat there for another 90 minutes talking to Rebecca about how falconry works, what she does out here, what she had seen in the 2015 vintage. And she basically confirmed what we saw. It was one of the worst bird damage years ever. And the second we got back in our cars to come back to the vineyard, we knew we were going to hire her. We knew we were going to work with Rebecca.
My name is Rebecca Rosen. I am a professional falconer. I fly birds of prey over agricultural areas to chase birds away so that they don't eat all of the fruits or vegetables that we are protecting. And the birds will associate the falcon with our vehicle, and then they see our vehicle and they see the vehicle as the threat, the true predator, because everything bad comes from that vehicle. So our ultimate goal is to drive up to a vineyard location and have the birds make a predator call and take off before we even roll down our window or put our car into park. Most of the work we do consists of patrolling, which is driving around and looking. When we see a flock of birds, the first thing we think is which one of our falcons would be best suited to chase away these birds based off of the situation. For example, the peregrine, he couldn't fly here because he's kind of like an Indy car where it's all, and this guy's like, just more agile, maybe like a rally racer. He can kind of get around stuff a little bit easier. So you're old and out of shape. You're old and out of shape. Falcons don't normally show affection towards people. The best you'll ever get is that they come back to you. But Harris hawks will form these family groups. There's an alpha female, and she pretty much takes charge, and she does everything first. Everybody follows her lead. So it's a matriarch society, I guess you could say. And they hunt like a little football team. And so when you use them for falconry, they naturally are ready to work cooperatively with you and a dog and even other Harris hawks, whereas say red tails, you can't really hunt them cooperatively because they're just territorial. They're like, it's outside of the breeding season, so I'm gonna eat you. And eagles apparently have more complex emotions and they can hold grudges. Yes, and they can hold on to them for a very long time. I've heard stories of people that worked with an eagle years ago and they had a falling out, which usually includes scars, and then years later they'll be at like a bird show and somebody will be free flying that eagle, and that eagle will see them in the audience and go after them. We're not really training the falcons so much as we're training the birds that we're chasing. So we want to start that training process before the grapes are ripe so that they take less damage. So the sooner we start flying our birds over the vineyards, the better value it is to our client. Oh, good boy. This is the brand new GPS. that we have been waiting decades for that's small enough to go on a falcon. And it's neat. There's an app on my phone, and I just look at my phone and it shows me where the bird is real time, wind speed, how cold it is outside, how high they are. It's kind of neat technology. It's like, yeah, it's like that song by the Police. I'll be watching you. He's moving that way. Yes, you're very happy, aren't you? When I first started in falconry, professional falconry, there were very few women involved. Most of them were the wives or girlfriends of a falconer. Falconry itself is a bit male-dominated, especially here in the United States. Surprisingly enough, most of my clients are women. They're usually viticulturists or vineyard managers.
I consider myself a winemaker. I'm not a woman winemaker, I'm just a winemaker. But that being said, it is a male-dominated industry. There are a ton of female winemakers and female GMs these days. But I think it's been a bit of a road to make that happen. There are fantastic groups here in the Valley where women participate and mentor each other in this industry and try and lift everybody up. And it's exciting to watch, it's exciting to see.
The most satisfying part of my job, I would have to say, is that moment when you drive up to a vineyard location that is normally covered in birds, and it's just silence, and you know you've won. There's a huge amount of satisfaction in that, especially if it's been a bit of a battle.
Because what Rebecca does is so different and so impressive, she has been kind enough to bring her birds to some of the events that we've had here at the winery, and you should see people just lose it as this beautiful blonde woman walks around with a peregrine falcon on her arm and talks about what they do together and the job, the very important job they have here in the Napa Valley protecting grapes. So we really enjoy sharing it with visitors here, and Rebecca's been a great sport bringing the birds around so people can interact and learn a little bit about what we're doing and see something completely different.
I'm gonna try and put her on. Aw, they left already. I'm sorry, girl.